Ha, they say that my rise to the top is long overdue. I'm just trying to cop a 3-star Goku suit. A better yet, a Senketsu that fits over loose. Equipped with a light fiber microphone, my flow the truth. Don't let these haters rule over you like the student council. Cause if they see you making moves, then they'll never doubt you. Keep that scissor blade sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. I'm hungry like a back alley doc eating by the mouthful.
Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Pull the Trigger on a Podcast, the podcast where we just cut off arms around here. Just remove them. You don't need them. Just sew things with your teeth. You can do it. I believe in you. I'm Fire Princess Lily, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend, Doc Sea Monster. Hey, Doc. How you doing?
I'm great. I've had decent week, all things considered. At least I've had a decent past 2-3 days.
You know, sometimes that's all you can hope for.
Yeah. I had a problem with my medication, and I was off my psych meds for about a week and a half, and that was not fun.
No, that does not sound fun at all. So glad you're doing better.
Imagine if the only emotion you could feel was anger.
I've been there.
Okay, anger and sad. You can. So I spent an entire week and a half being either angry or sad, but also angry.
Right.
Not fun.
No, not fun at all.
But that's behind me, and I'm back on my meds, and I got back on my meds just in time for Wednesday.
For Wednesday.
Which is, just in time for Wednesday. And I am glad, because I don't know if I could have handled Wednesday at all.
What happened Wednesday?
Are we just not going to talk about it, or?
I mean, I thought the one thing that I was avoiding happened before Wednesday.
The coup was on Wednesday.
Oh, that thing. I thought we're talking about the other one thing that I'm just not going to mention because we're skipping over it. Yeah, the coup was on Wednesday. Holy shit! Like,
yeah.
In case anybody was curious, anybody listening, I know that we don't get a ton of listeners. This podcast is anti-Nazi. We do not like Nazis here, or white supremacists in general, or bigots in general. So all those people can fuck off, and I hope they get what's coming to them.
Any variety of fascist or supremacist is no-go here in our space.
Exactly. So, wow. And Ted Cruz. You live in Texas. I'm so sorry. Ted Cruz.
Yeah. The spineless fucking worm. Like, he's trying to backpedal, but, like, I don't think anybody can let him get away with that bullshit.
I don't even think he's trying to, like, backpedal. He's just like, oh, no, they're not what you think they are. They're not really Nazis and seditionists and dude. We got all the footage. People chanting. Nobody's like, you know, telling them to chant these things, but they're chanting for, like, you know, death and violence and yeah, no, man, you fucking, like, you egged these people on, and I think you and everyone like you should face some repercussions for this, whatever those repercussions are. I don't
Some
think
people are trying. Yeah, but we'll see.
You should, though.
He should, yes.
So, yeah, and I don't feel bad for the woman who got shot. I'm just going to say it right now. Do not feel bad for her.
I believe the term is fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and she fucked around, and she found out. Like, I feel bad for her family, but...
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry that a person died and her you know, her loved ones have to deal with that, but I'm not bothered that because of what she died doing.
Nope. Exactly. Oof. Rough, rough start to the new year, but I knew it would be. So I'm just glad I don't live in Washington D.C. Just like because here's the thing. Here's the thing, and call me a doomer. You can call me a doomer all you want. These people are not done at all, and they've said as much. And only a handful of them are getting consequences right now, which tells them that they can just do it again, and they're gonna do it worse. It's gonna be so much worse. So, especially since their boy Trump said he won't even be at the Capitol on inauguration day. That was a call, people. That wasn't him like being sad and like conceding. No, that's him telling them, "Hey, I won't be there, so fuck shit up." And maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I am. Oh, I hope I am.
Yeah.
But I don't think I am. So, do with that as you will. I'm sorry, we were talking about your week and then we got on this topic. What else is going on in your life other than like existential terror?
I watched The History of Swearing on Netflix.
Nice.
That was really great. I enjoyed it. Nick Cage was fun.
See, speaking of Nick Cage, do you think he looks back at the National Treasure movies after Wednesday and go, "Damn, it would not have taken anything at all to give the Declaration of Independence"?
Yeah.
I sure would.
Yeah.
Sorry. Once again, just like Wednesday was. I hate living through so many historical moments in my life.
I hope we can get back to precedented times at some point. I miss precedented times.
Yeah, me too.
I had a really good 2018 and a really good 2019. Like I was on a good run of years. Like 2017 was pretty good too. 2017, 2018, 2019, all good years for me. And then last year happened, and shit is still happening.
Well, yeah. People need to stop thinking about like bad times as being like concentrated to like a singular moment in history. Like everybody
Yeah,
keeps saying like, because not. I mean, I feel like ever since the end of 2016, things are just coming kind of on a downhill slope for everybody. Um,
yeah.
and people kept saying, if we just make it through this year to the next year, it's going to get better, and it would just keep going down. And that's just where we're at right now, folks.
Like problem. Like I get the concept. It's like okay, this is bad. If like I get the general idea of this is bad. If we can ride this out and survive it, then we'll be good. But like you can't just mark a year is a very arbitrary distinction.
Yeah,
And you can't just use that as your only marker for for shit happening.
exactly. Um,
A
jeez,
year means nothing. Like
at
December
all.
31st, December 31st to January 1st means nothing. It means nothing. Now things do happen as time passes. Like January 20th is coming up in about a week, but shit's still going on.
Yeah. Although people are telling me that it's going to be a new age of Aquarius, and that means rebirth and stuff. So we'll see.
I'm a
Apparently,
Taurus.
apparently, good things happened during the last age of Aquarius. So we shall see.
I'm a Taurus. I don't know.
Uh, Aquarius, the age of Aquarius just represents a time when all the various houses are in Aquarius. Like, I don't understand how it works either. I'm just saying. Like, when people talk about Mercury being in retrograde, I just kind of roll my eyes. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to be positive, I suppose, in some manner, since I've clearly not had a very positive thought the last couple of weeks, at the very least. So what else has been going on other than Sorry. What else has been going on? Just power through.
Not a lot. It's just been day-to-day stuff, you know.
Right. Okay. Cool deal. Um. All right then. Well, things have been nuts in the wrestling world.
Yep.
Which, I mean, it feels silly to care about wrestling. Um. With everything that's going on, but I need some levity in my life. I need something to focus on. I mean, I got a lot of good stuff to focus on. I mean, my life isn't bad. I sincerely hope I never, ever bring to the idea that I am somehow like misfortuned in my life, because my life is pretty good. So I just want to like put that out there. Um, but but I do focus on wrestling a lot because it's fun. Wrestling is fun. And in the time between when we last recorded and now, because we had a few weeks off, just various stuff happening, like just how it is. I don't think I canceled any week, particularly on my. I don't know. Who knows?
It was the
It
holidays.
was the holidays. It was crazy. So shit happens. Um, Between the time that we last recorded this podcast and now, uh, Brody Lee, John Huber, passed away suddenly of a non-COVID related lung disease, which was very sad. Apparently, he was like the nicest guy to ever be in the sport of wrestling, ever. It's amazing when even Jim Cornette can't say anything bad about you, like as a person. That guy lives to shit on people. So, incredible. And AEW had a really, really just heartfelt tribute show to him, which was not only just like a tribute show, but it also still told it still advanced storylines and stuff, which was like pretty incredible for a tribute show, to be honest. I cried a lot. I didn't get to watch Brody Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber wrestle a whole lot in my lifetime, but what I did see from him, I enjoyed, and he just seemed like a really good dude. Like, I couldn't pick him apart if I tried, even if I wanted to. Just a good guy. So that happened. Kenny Omega has been doing stuff on Impact Wrestling. He's the AEW champion. We've talked about that before. But what happened this week on AEW was crazy, because after his match to defend his title against Rey Fenix, who one day the wrestling community is just going to give, the wrestling industry, I should say, is just going to give Rey Fenix all the championship belts, and he will have deserved them. He is just so good. He's amazing. Did not capture the championship this week, which is fine. Kenny just got it recently, so I don't want him to lose it too soon. We'll see how long he keeps it. It could be a while. But he got attacked by the previous champion, Jon Moxley, after the match. Kenny Omega did. And who should come out and save him but Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers. And if you haven't been watching Impact Wrestling, which, lots of people, they don't, that's fine. It's up to you, I guess, to miss some fun wrestling. Impact Street is sort of a joke, and I don't understand why. They do a good show. Anyway, they are the Impact Tag Champions. And they are former members of the Bullet Club, which is a faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling that Kenny Omega was also a part of at the same time that they were a part of it. They've been kind of palling around on Impact, which is why there's going to be a big match with Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, versus Impact champion Rick Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns at Hard to Kill this month, which is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to really love and enjoy that. So Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson come out of nowhere to save Kenny from Jon Moxley, who's got a barbed wire bat, because that's just kind of Jon Moxley's thing. It proves that the partnership goes both ways because people are saying, well, sure, Kenny Omega can appear on Impact, but that doesn't mean any of the Impact people are ever going to appear on AEW. You know, this is just like a one-way thing. But no, it's a two-way thing, and I'm very happy about it. But not only did the Good Brothers come out, save Kenny, and help keep the ring clear of a bunch of other wrestlers trying to jump in to save Jon Moxley. The Young Bucks came out, and they're the AEW Tag Champs. Former Bullet Club members as well. And everybody was like, what are they going to do? Or are they going to, like, you know, clear the Good Brothers out of the ring, tell them to get back to Impact? What's going to happen? And that's when the Good Brothers get grabbed from behind by the Varsity Blondes, another tag team. A lot of names to, like, keep up with. And the Young Bucks super kick the Varsity Blondes. And the show ends with not only Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers throwing up the Too Sweet sign, which, I mean, if you've watched any wrestling at all in your life, you've seen the Too Sweet sign. It's a real old hand gesture in wrestling. So Kenny throws it up, the Good Brothers join him, of course, and then the Bucks join as well. And that's how the show ends. The Bullet Club reuniting in an AEW ring, which is crazy. It's insane.
Totally.
Well, I mean, the Bullet Club is, I don't want to say it's a heel faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It kind of is. They often cheat, so they do have heelish tactics. But at the start of the year, like, what day was it? The third. The third was Wrestle Kingdom of New Japan, night one. Because Wrestle Kingdom takes place over 2 nights. Night one, Kota Ibushi, who was Kenny Omega's former tag team partner, a part of the Golden Lovers. Like, this is just me throwing lots of wrestling shit at people. Sorry. Won not only the Intercontinental Championship, but the Heavyweight Championship of New Japan Pro Wrestling, because the titles right now are sort of bonded together. So Kota Ibushi won those titles, and then he defended them successfully against Jay White, and Kenny Omega congratulated them because they're friends, you know. But this could also mean maybe that there is going to be a future cross promotion between New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW, and I really hope there is. Like, in my head, my fantasy booking head, all of this leads to a big, grand match where Kenny Omega faces Kota Ibushi for all the titles, because Kenny Omega holds the AEW Championship, and he holds AAA's Championship out of Mexico, and he's looking at the Impact Championship as well. So if he wins all 3 belts, and Kota Ibushi maybe wins, I don't know, the Neverweight Open belt, because he could, because it's an open weight belt, so he can challenge for it. But if he won that belt, and then they decided to just wrestle for all the belts, winner take all, it would be so incredible. I would love it so much. So that's what's going on in wrestling, is that it is just getting super crazy. In ways that you can't imagine. Or maybe you can. I don't know. I'm not you. And we'll see what happens. Nothing big, I don't think, scheduled for next week as far as wrestling goes. Well, until the 16th. So a week from now will be the Hard to Kill pay-per-view for Impact, and that's going to be big. But otherwise, nothing like major being scheduled like for like the regular weekly shows.
Sure.
If that makes sense. Thank you for listening to Wrestle Talk. Hey, do you want to talk about Kill la Kill? Doc?
Hello?
You there?
Hear me?
Yeah. You want to talk about Kill la Kill?
Love to.
All right. This week we watched episode 22. Tell me how you feel. And before we get into the episode, I just want to say that people who would like to claim that Ryuko and Mako are just really great gal pals, best of friends, and not gay, I don't think you watched this show. I don't think you watched it. I don't think it's possible.
Like there's head goggles, and then there's not. Then there's not paying attention to the fucking show.
Yeah, no way. There's no possible way that you watched the show. You had it on in the background. That's what happened. You had it on in the background. You actually didn't watch it. You didn't pay attention. And we'll get into why.
They had the dialogue off, and we're just watching it. Like music playing in the background,
Yeah.
or they watched it in Japanese with no subs.
They're like, I can do this. I purchased those DVDs from early 2000s anime conventions that told me I could learn Japanese through anime, so I can do this. Whatever happened to those people?
No clue.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't even know if they still go to conventions. I haven't been to a convention in so long. They probably do. Anyway, we open this week, before we get off topic, we open this week on just blood spraying everywhere. Basically, where the last episode left off, Ryuko ripping Genketsu right off of her body and shredding it to pieces. I don't know how much blood Ryuko has. It's more than people should have. Just so much. Mako and Senketsu both ask her if she's okay, and she just screams that it hurts like hell. But it's what she deserves for being such a huge dumbass. Nui is like, wow, she's still alive after ripping up her own life fibers. Oh well, no big deal. At least she threw her scissor blade at me, so haha, now I have both of them. And everybody's just wondering, is Nui indestructible? I can't believe it. But she's like, yeah, whatever. I want to kill everybody now with both these scissor blades because you can't beat me without them. Haha. And so Mako's like, you know what? That's fine because now she has Senketsu. And Senketsu rockets off. Nui tries to cut him in half, but he splits his pieces to dodge the blades and springboards off her head. It's great. And then Ryuko puts on Senketsu like she's Voltron.
Yeah, Ryuko has found her way.
She has found her way. Starfields. She transforms. Everybody's very happy to see it. And she just stands there menacingly. She feels way more powerful than she's ever felt in the entire show. And that's because, of course, she's connected in a way she's never been connected before. But we'll get into that. Skipping the title credits. She yells at Nui, who's like, oh no, this is not what I wanted. Nui's just backing away without Ryuko actually having to do anything just yet. Even Sasuke's like, wow, she's intimidating Nui just like through sheer presence. And then she throws her sword pieces into a Genketsu who's torn up and trying to, get away. She's like, no, you just stay right there. We cut back over to Nui, who's like, you know what? I can't believe I sewed up Genketsu for you, for you specifically, and you tore it off, and now you're back in that lame getup, but it's fine. I'm just going to cut it right off you. She sends a harrowing cross slash at Ryuko, who just blocks it easily with her hand. She's like, bleh. There's a big speech about how she's never taking Senketsu off because now she's more connected to Senketsu than ever because it has both Satsuki and Mako's blood in it, and so it feels warmer and better than that monster Genketsu. Which causes Senketsu to cry. Starts balling up. Ryuko hates it. She's like, no feelings in the middle of fighting. This is terrible.
There's no crying in shonen action shows.
No crying in shonen anime. No, there's lots. Not in the action.
There is lots of crying in shonen.
Nui cuts through the scene. She's like, what is with this friends garbage? I'm gonna barf. And Ryuko basically feels the same way, but she's got to fight Nui right now. She's like, don't talk crap about it. The words friends doesn't even come close to covering it. There's something more, something I can't explain. That's what Mako and Senketsu are to me. Which, okay, it happened earlier than I remember. How do you hear that line and not understand that these two are gay?
Yeah, in the sub, it's like a woman who barges into your heart when you're not looking.
She says that. She says that next. That's the exact line she says next. After Mako's like, what are you talking about, me? She's like, yeah, I can't tell if you're weak or strong. Like a woman who barges into your heart when you're not looking. And that right there is possibly one of the gayest phrases in this show I have heard.
Straight, it's very heterosexual.
So straight. Oh my god.
Just I will say I stand by the fact that last episode had the single gayest scene in the entire series.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get any less gay between the two of them. Like it does not the homosexuality does not de-escalate.
That's not at all. She talks about Senketsu crying and laughing for her genuinely, even though he's clothing. And as they're like, squaring off, Ryuko using Senketsu's own blades to block Nui's attack. And she keeps saying bat crap crazy, which just sounds weird to me.
That's I'm sure that's a translation thing. It's like, not having a good translation, so I just went with bat crap.
Because why wouldn't you just say bat shit?
I don't know. Trying to keep it PG-13, maybe?
She says bat crap like 5 times this episode. Or
is the sub just PG-13?
I don't know. Maybe.
Did Ryuko ever say fuck?
No. No, I don't think she does. I know
Did
that
she ever say shit?
Fuck. I don't.
Oh yeah, we say fuck.
I think she said shit before. So I don't get. Anyway, it's just weird to me. So I'm just gonna say batshit crazy because that makes more sense.
Let Ryuko say fuck 2021.
Let Ryuko say fuck. Anyway, she's like, as she's like fending off this Nui. What's up?
They had to air it on they had to put it on Hulu and air it on Adult Swim. So the dub is definitely PG-13.
Gotcha. Yeah. So as she's fending off this attack for Nui, the ship is like breaking up under them because there's just so much tension and power between them. She talks about how these batshit crazy people try their damnedest to help her, and she has to live up to that craziness. And Nui's like, Nui's got dumb faces. I love Nui's dumb faces. Nui's just looking at her with one of her dumb faces as Ryuko just continues to monologue on about how Nui just sees everybody as the same, a whole world cut for the same cloth, life fibers. And she's never going to let that happen. She's never going to let them succeed. Because the world's better off having batshit crazy people wandering around in it. Mako says, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you're totally right. Which leads to one of the best Nui faces ever. She's like, her head just gets real big, and she's like, if you don't understand, shut up. And she's like, anyway, this is why I hate humans. But if that's somewhat how you want it to be, then go ahead and die without being understood ever. Nui tries to stab through Ryuko, who uses great martial arts to just kick her fucking through everything. Which is really good. And take back not only her scissor blade, but the other scissor blade. And she changes the color of the purple one to red, showing
That's
she
great.
has mastery over it, ownership of it. Nui's like, that's fine, it's cool. I'm just going to turn everybody you love against you and make them attack you. And she tries to do the mind stitching that Ragyo did earlier. And Ryuko's like, no, dummy. I have both the scissor blades. That is not happening. Nui's like, that's cool. It was a decoy anyway. Bye. Goes to stab Ryuko in the neck, but it is a Dragon Ball Z after image. And Ryuko's like, yeah, it is the end for you. And she cuts off both of Nui's arms.
Oh yeah, just completely.
Just completely, they're gone. Which leads Nui to scream for several moments about her arms, just over and over again. She's like, do you have any idea how valuable my arms are? They're the arms of the Grand Courtier. And she's like, yeah, that's why I chopped them off. She's like, yeah, it's fine. Even if you chop them off, I'll just pop them back on, right? Good as new. To which the arm dies right in her face. She's like,
Yeah,
oh,
Ryuko like
no.
stomps on it
Well,
and destroys the arm.
Well, first it like it's moving around like it's struggling, and then it just flops over dead. And then Ryuko snaps on it and destroys them into just like life fiber pieces and absorbs them into Senketsu. Satsuki's like, wow, they can even halt the life fiber regeneration? That's crazy. Those scissors are crazy.
Honestly, as much as I like Nui, the fucking breakdown she has when her arms get cut off is fucking amazing.
It is real amazing.
Ryuko makes an absolute fucking chump out of her, and it's great.
It's real good. Anyway, we cut back over to Ryuko, who's like, hey, just give it up. And she's like, I'll never give it up. You're really making me angry. Every last one of you, making another really great face.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. That's when a bunch of those life fiber monsters drop out of nowhere. And Honoru, is that her name?
Oh, Maru.
Oh,
like the Pokemon.
yeah.
Oh, like the Pokemon Maru.
Maru swoops in and grabs Nui and gets the fuck away. Even as cannons are being fired, cannons get blocked by life fiber monsters, and Ryuko's like, it's cool, I'm just gonna turn into my flying mode and catch them. And then she doesn't.
Yeah, because like, no.
Yeah, Senketsu's like, you lost too much blood, so we probably should not do that. She's like, chasing after them would be dangerous, but we got all these guys to deal with. That's when Satsuki says, yeah, but Hohomaru made a mistake because she was so desperate to rescue Nui. She's like, come on, guys, let's do the thing. And that's when a bunch of those weapons made to like suck people out of these life fiber creatures gets
pause.
out. Oh, okay, we're pausing. So that's when a bunch of those weapons meant to like suck people out of life fiber creatures just start like appearing on deck. Mitsusuki's got one. The Mohawk guy has 3. And they just start sucking people out of those creatures. And they're like, yeah, that was a mistake because they just brought us a bunch of new allies.
Yeah, they're all using the rescue devices, and Gamagori grabs like fucking 9 of them.
Gamagori grabs like 9 of them, which is ridiculous. He just sees people like using 1 or 2. He's like, huh, that guy over there is using 3. I can use 9. Doesn't make any sense. But they start sucking people out of these life fiber creatures all at once. And Satsuki notices that some of the people getting sucked out could actually just be real useful to her. Like the tennis club captain and the boxing captain and all these other various captains of different clubs. And she calls to Mako's family and says, hey, get these students like all patched up because I have plans for them. So she's like, yeah, we can help people for a change. Montaro's like, they don't have any wallets, so I'm not really into this. And they're like, no, you're going to be into this. It's really good.
Yeah.
All the life fibers are getting sucked up via vacuum for some purpose. They're going to make new clothes. Come on.
Yeah. Well, they don't even like that. They reveal that by the end of the episode. So
Yeah. We cut over to the helicopter that rescued Nui, and she is just pissed. She's like, who asked for your help? I haven't been beaten yet. I can go back there and I can go kill them all. And they're like, calm yourself. What can you possibly do in your condition? And anyway, don't you have to like finish that big project, the Shinra Koketsu? How do you intend to apologize to Lady Raggio for this fiasco? And she's like, apologize. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
this whole conversation is happening, mind you, while Nui is still spraying blood all over Oromaru.
Yeah. It's real bad. It's also real good. She's like, you lost both your arms in a battle that you did not need to fight. Nui says, me? Apologize? As if. And she sews up her arms with her teeth. She's like, let's just hurry back to the academy. I'll finish Shinra Koketsu, and after I'm done, I'll teach you what happens when somebody mouths off to me. Honomaru says, I don't care. Just finish your stupid project, and you can do whatever. Which is pretty good, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
We cut back over to the battleship, and they're looking at a torn-up Genketsu. Like, what are we going to do with that? She's like, keep it in its restraints for its time being. Like, we're not going to terminate. She's like, no, the battle isn't over yet. They're like, you're going to wear that again? Can you really wear that monster? She's like, yeah. I would make the same mistake twice. Ryoko's like, you couldn't even synchronize with Senketsu. How are you going to do it? Senketsu's like, hey, could you not, like, ride her too hard? She tried to save you, you know. And Ryoko's like, so what? She doesn't excuse the attitude that she's giving me this whole time. Like, it was bullshit. And Sasuke's like, well, what the fuck do you want from me? She's like, well, let me punch you. Let me fucking hit you. Just once. If I punch you without holding back and you're still on your feet, I'll admit you have the strength to fight alongside me. Everybody's like, yeah. Ryuko, that's crazy.
Yeah, despite being allies now, Ryuko wants to punch Satsuki in the fucking face.
Yep.
And Satsuki doesn't give a fuck and is going to let her do it to get it out of her system.
Yes.
This is the absolute pinnacle of their red-only, blue-only dynamic.
Absolutely. Mitsuki says that if she punches Satsuki, like, while she's synchronized, it would kill her. And Ryoko's like, and? She's no ordinary human. That's the great Satsuki Kurin, right? And Satsuki's like, yeah, go ahead. Fucking hit me. If we face Raggio Kurin, if I'm to fall here, I will have no chance of winning this battle. So I have to withstand your blow. So come at me. She's like, yeah, show me you're not all talk. Ryoko goes to punch Satsuki. She makes a big old swing and punches Gamagori right in the face. It's very tense. It's a tense moment until she throws that punch, but it goes right into Gamagori's face because he jumps in the way. And she's like, hey, stay out of this. She's like, fine, here I go again. And she punches Sagayama right in the face. They're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, hey, are you mocking us? She's like, because that was not a full-powered punch. You didn't throw that punch with everything you had. She's like, yeah, I did. She's like, oh yeah, then why am I not dead? It's really pretty good. Like, I thought no ordinary human could survive it. I thought they would die. So she's like, fine, you got in the way, so I pulled my punch. Like, yeah, sure you did. Such a woman is not worthy to punch Lady Satsuki if she's gonna pull her punches. She's like, wait a minute, why is this turned back on me? And they're like, yeah, no, we're right to be angry at you, as if we would let some half-ass blows land on Lady Satsuki. Satsuki looks confused. Like she was vibing with the idea of Ryuko hitting her, and the Elite Four have just jumped in front of her, and she is no longer vibing.
No.
Nananon says that their face, the Elite Four's face, is Lady Sasuke's face. Their limbs are her limbs. Like it's a lot.
Um, as much as I love the scene of Satsuki's subs popping up to defend her,
Yeah.
kind of get the feeling that after Gamagori and Tanagiyama jump in, that like Jakuzure and Imuta are like, fuck, the idiots got in the middle of their sister bullshit. I guess we got to get involved now.
Yeah, pretty much. Nananon says, however, if these limbs have a mind of their own, so we could be rather obstinate. After saying that they would be happy to be crushed or severed in service of Lady Satsuki, they'd have no regrets. They are her irresistible spirit and unyielding shield. Like, it's a lot. They just keep going on and on and on. And Satsuki looks more concerned with each passing line. It's pretty good. She's like, but they're like, if you want to strike Lady Satsuki, you have to first strike us. And Ryuko's like, what the hell? I do not understand you people. I don't get you at all. Which causes her to realize, wait a minute.
Their mothers are both named Martha.
Their mothers are both named Martha. She's like, wait a minute. You're protected by a bunch of batshit crazy people just like I am. We're the same. Simpatico. Sasuke's like, yeah, I guess I am.
Well, okay, like I said that as a joke, but like this is actually pulling off that idea of the fucking Martha scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is like the, oh wait, we have all this in common, we have people that love us. Like that's like Kill la Kill actually pulls off that scene.
They do. No, I'm not disagreeing. So Sasuke explains her tactics to Ryuko at this point. She's like, to defeat Rakio, I must treat all human beings as pawns. Alright, so I thought the same of you. Ever since the day you appeared wearing Senketsu, ever since my intent was to train you into being an all-powerful asset to turn against Rakio. I made you believe that your father's killer was I, so that you would come after me, and I gauge you and your connection to Senketsu. If you could hold your free will while I would not be taken over by Kamui, then surely you would prove useful when it was time for the coup against Rakio. I believe I can manipulate you and use you as an asset, even without telling you the truth. All Ryuko says to this is, you bitch. Like, it's pretty good.
I love Sasuke's whole speech here about how she was manipulating Ryuko and trying to fit her into her plans. It just makes me go back to the question of what if Ryuko had actually won the Naturals election and Sasuke had brought her into the fold.
Right. Anyway, Sasuke says that was a grave mistake. In the end, I just employed the same methods as Rakio. It's a given that I would not like to be like her, so the biggest fool here is me. She's like, yeah. I understand now that the world is not cut from the same cloth. It is because it is overflowing with inexplicable, unidentifiable things. The world is so beautiful. Fight at my side so that we may protect the world, Ryuko. And then she bows to Ryuko, and the lights behind her get exceedingly bright because she's the shining star of the Hinoji Academy, so of course it does. Ryuko's like, wow, this is a lot, but I guess I forgive you. I don't feel like hitting you anymore. And she says, I've got no problems with stopping that excessive mother of ours. And the two sides of this whole conflict come together. They come together eating Mrs. Mako's croquettes. and drinking
Yeah,
tea.
we have this nice little cool down scene of everyone having a nice meal. It's pretty good.
Absolutely. Yamagori is eating croquettes that look like Mako's face, which is weird.
I miss that. That's weird.
Yeah, I just noticed that watching it back. Buddy, that is a one-sided feeling. It's not gonna happen.
No.
Anyway, even Sasuke likes these unidentifiable croquettes, which are made of random mincemeats. We cut back over to Ryuko, who's eating by herself, and Senketsu's like giving her shit, just like saying, "You felt touched earlier, didn't you?" She's like, "No, you did." He's like, "Yeah, you did." She's like, "Well, you felt lonely, didn't you? That's why you're trying to talk with me so much right now." He's like, "No, I never feel lonely." It's like it's pretty good. Yeah. And it's suddenly nighttime too. Like it was sort of like the dusk earlier, and now it's just nighttime.
Yeah.
But it all ends with Ryoko looking out into the distance and saying she's coming soon. And we cut over to Ragyo flying on the original or primal life fiber, whatever you want to call it. And she's getting a phone call. She's like, "Oh, so Ryoko broke free. That sucks. Oh well. What a nuisance my daughters are. I guess I didn't discipline them properly." And we cut over to Nui, who is sewing whatever she's sewing with her teeth because she can. Why not? She's screaming about Ryuko and Sasuke are gonna pay. She's gonna make them pay. Uh, she's very angry. And then we cut back over to the ship where they've injected Jinketsu with a mixture of Lady Satsuki and Ryoko's blood. So it should be easier to control now. Especially since it's also going to have some of Senketsu's life fibers. Sasuke's like, "Yeah, if I'm going to put something on that I can't wear properly, we should simply retailor it." Like... And everybody's like, "Wow, you only care about victory." It's like, duh. The Mohawk guy calls her like a proper nudist, and she doesn't react to that. She's like, "That, nothing. No, thank you."
Sasuke's having
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sasuke's having none of that.
None of that. She just turns to Laura and says, "Hey, can you get to work?" He's like, "Yeah. We have more life fibers than we expected to collect. So I'm just going to start manufacturing Goku uniforms." And Mitsusuke's like, "Could you do this by yourself? You don't have anybody else to help you." He's like, "Yeah, I'm more than enough." And it turns out that Lori this whole time is also a 3-star Goku user.
Yeah, the reveal is great.
The reveal is good.
It's quite great.
He activates his Goku uniform and gets to work. It's the tailor's regalia. We then cut over to Sasuke explaining Ragyo's plan, which is to turn the world into a starseed cocoon. Basically, by covering every human being with life fibers, like through the Revox clothing, she'll send a signal into space to a satellite, which will then relay that signal back to all the Revox clothing on Earth, which will then cover the world in a shell of life fibers. What is the point in that, you might be asking? And like, how is that the end of the world? And Sasuke explains that life fibers are an organism, that travel through space. Whew. Excuse me. Basically, using that energy, they'll cause the planet to explode, expelling the life fiber cocoon so they can travel to other planets and continue to do the same thing. Huh.
Yep.
Sagiyaga makes a terrible pun, and Nanan's like, "That was dumb. We all wanted to say that dumb pun, but we restrained ourselves, and you're stupid. You're stupid, Kanto monkey." Which he starts fighting with her about. Imamura gets in on it, and Yagura's like, hey, could you all just behave yourselves in front of Lady Satsuki? And Satsuki's like, hey, it's cool. Hearing everybody bicker makes me feel like I've truly come home. Like, okay, that's cool.
These people bicker with these characters bicker with each other in the way that only people who are fucking each other do.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
And Sasuke is absolutely used to their nonsense.
Absolutely. So, Imamura says, okay, I've managed to hack into one of the Revox communication satellites and get an image on the original life fiber. They've beefed up their security cameras, so I can only really get a peek at it. And they watch Ragyo flying on the original life fiber as headed towards Hanoji Academy, exactly as expected. And Ryoko's like, why would they go there? They're like, well, that's where the antenna is to send the signal to cover the planet. And so we just need to go destroy that antenna. But there's one small problem first. I'm like, what's that? Oh, these missiles are about to strike the ship. And that's when missiles strike the ship. And everybody's like, why couldn't you have brought that to our attention sooner? He's like, Sasuke says, hey, Mr. Mitsugi. He's like, what? You calling me Mister? She's like, yeah, you're in charge of this operation. I'm going to be on the front line, so I can't command, so you're going to do it. And he's like, well, all right then. Let's do this. So Mitsugi basically just tells them Sasuke's plan, and they're like, yeah, we were going to do that anyway. Sasuke's like, so are we going? And Ryoko's like, can you go? She's like, yeah, I've got no choice in the matter either. She's like, well, then go get changed. I believe it's Satsuki's butler that speaks to Ryuko through this headset, because he says, Lady Ryuko, please look after your sister. I don't think anybody else would have said that to her. So that's just, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I know. I'm going to look after her. Shut up. And she tries to say, let's do this, sis. And Sasuke's like, just don't force it. It's fine. Your blood is flowing through Genketsu, and that's more than enough. And they're like, she's like, okay. Sanketsu almost starts crying. But she's like, no, don't do it. You can cry later. We got to fight. We get a dual transformation sequence from the two of them. It's just the transformation sequence that we're used to.
Yeah, but I absolutely love the way we have the mirror transformation sequences one final time.
Yeah, it's good.
But they're standing side by side as sisters and allies, which is kind of beautiful.
It's good, yeah. And it is the full transformation sequence. Nothing's being sped up or anything. Nothing's being skipped.
Yeah.
And so they transform. Sorry, I'm just like waiting for this to play out. There we go. Sorry. Dead air. So I was just watching that. They stand together triumphantly in their transformation. And that's when more missiles start heading their way. Yeah. Ryuko transforms. She's like, come on, give me your hand. And Sasuke's like, no, I don't need your help to get up there. I can transform too. And she transforms into her own Genketsu Shippu. And Sanketsu's like, wow, it even absorbed my abilities? And they destroy the missiles. And then fly off super fast, explosions along the way, towards wherever Ragyo is. The ship is heading for Hinoji Academy when suddenly it is stopped by a giant life fiber creature filled with hundreds, maybe even thousands of souls.
Yeah.
And they're like, what
It's
the hell
pretty
is
fucked
that?
up.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, this is not good to look at. Although the double sunglasses design is very reminiscent of Gurren Lagann.
It's double common sunglasses. It's very good on.
Mm-hmm. Which it always feels like the people at Studio Trigger can't help but sneak in a, yes, we also worked on Gurren Lagann at a different studio, into anything that they do. Because it's definitely in Little Witch Academia. It's basically Promare. So we'll see what else happens as we go on to these other shows. But so far, it is a trend.
I'm looking forward to talking about Promare in 2025.
Oh my god. Yeah. What have I done? Anyway, a wardrobe falls from the sky. And who should pop out of it but a giant fist? And that's right, folks. Hinoji Academy Fight Club President Mako is back in action. 2 stars, baby. And she says,
She's back in her.
Go ahead.
She's back in her fucking bancho outfit, and it's great.
It's great. She's like, don't worry, Ryuko. I'll keep this ship safe. And that's how the episode ends. That's the end of the episode. Good episode. We only have 2 more episodes after this.
Yep.
So, thoughts, notes?
I like this episode. You know, we're getting very close to the ending, so everything is really ramping up, and it's just going to go up and up from here. This is still, but like mostly this is kind of a transitional episode between Ryuko being brainwashed and the final episodes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's kind of a lot of it's kind of a breather, just like make sure all the pieces are in place. You know.
Yeah.
Like we got some comedic scenes, we've got some like slower paced stuff. It's a good episode though. I'm not like saying it's bad. When I say like slower pace, I don't mean like slow. I mean like more relaxed.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean like relaxed tempo.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like this episode.
How about you?
I think it's good. I like that. I like that Ryuko finally gets one up on Nui for real this time.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's good. Also, just like the weirdness of Ryuko trying to like be sisterly towards Satsuki in any kind of manner is pretty good. Like, it's so awkward, but I like it. And yeah. Things are gonna get crazy from here on out. So we'll just have to see what happens, more or less. But overall, not a bad episode.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say about it. I do the most talking around here, so. Also, super gay.
Very gay.
I just can't believe that people think that they're just gal pals. I don't. Anyway. Yeah, so that's all I have to say for this week. If you have no other notes,
I do not.
Then where can people find you online if they want to like talk to you about stuff?
I am on Twitter way too much, especially lately. I'm at Dr. C Monster. That is at DRC Monster. Come and find me on Twitter. We can see me dunking on fascists.
Yeah, always fun. I'm just like screaming at Ted Cruz these days.
It counts as dunking on fascists.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just calling him a dipshit and stuff.
That's all he deserves.
Pretty much.
Ted Cruz doesn't deserve effort. But there's some new ones. There's Bobbitt. There's Hawley. There's Hawthorne. There's all kinds of new fascists to make fun of.
I wish there weren't.
I know. Me either. Maybe we'll get rid of them. We'll see.
We'll see. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at DatFirePrince, spelled D-A-T, where I mostly I just talk about wrestling and other like day-to-day stuff. It's been a real just weird one lately. So expect more. Other than that, but you know, you can also find me on my numerous podcasts that I do. I do a bunch of podcasts, or I used to do a bunch of podcasts, but you know, I still do numerous ones. So whatever. Later this month, you can hear my great voice on a retrospective. It's a podcast that goes over old fanfics. Retro fanfic respective, something like that. You'll find it. It's on all the places where you find your podcasts. I'm just doing a one-time guest appearance for my Rama podcast, one half podcast, which, you know, I try to do somewhat regularly with my good friend World Leader Vib. And you can also find me on a Let's Pining for the Falls, the podcast where me and Doc Seamonster talk about Gravity Falls. It's this, but for Gravity Falls, which we enjoy.
It's the only podcast where we answer your questions with questions.
It's the only podcast where we answer your questions with questions. And that's it. That's all the stuff. And so, I guess, until next time, don't lose your way.
Don't lose your way!
All right, bye.
Bye.
Ha, they say that my rise to the top is long overdue. I'm just trying to cop a 3-star Goku suit. A better yet, a Senketsu that fits over loose. Equipped with a light fiber microphone, my flow the truth. Don't let these haters rule over you like the student council. Cause if they see you making moves, then they'll never doubt you. Keep that scissor blade sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. I'm hungry like a back alley docky and by the mouthful.